So, Edmonton franchise. Let's at least get a little bit of this in before I switch over to the East side of things. The Pittsburgh Penguins ended up winning the Stanley Cup in June of 2014. Again, we were eliminated by the San Jose Sharks, unfortunately. But, you know, we tried. That's the important thing. We're a young team, and we tried. Shout out to Cactus Killers for the follow, by the way. Okay, hold on. The dog wants to leave the room. Here, enjoy the Danhausen dick punch. Why not? Enjoy it. Now, will I remember to cut this part out of the YouTube side of things? Probably not. Probably not. Actually, the answer is definitely not. Not a chance in hell I'll remember to cut that. But that's okay. Don't worry about it. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. With that, let's take a look. We got the end of season awards, so on and so forth. But the Penguins beat the Dallas Stars in the Stanley Cup final in 5 games. As San Jose ended up falling to Dallas in the second round. So we didn't even lose to a team that went that far in the playoffs. Unfortunate playoffs. So it has been 4 straight Eastern Conference teams to win a Stanley Cup in this franchise mode. It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy that it's been 4 of them, man. But that is the fact. Art Ross Trophy goes to Sidney Crosby of your Edmonton Oilers. You'd love to see it. The Hart Trophy goes to Marc-Andre Fleury. 4 straight years that it's been a goalie, which is really weird. Norris goes to Cam Fowler. Okay. Yeah, Penguins without Crosby won the cup, by the way. So, LOL. Calder goes to Chet Picker. 3 out of 4 years it's gone to a goalie, which is tremendous. Conn Smythe went to Marc-Andre Fleury. Vezina goes to Flower. Jennings to Miller. Masterton to Eric Tangradi. The Selke goes to Rob Schremp. Ted Lindsay to Crosby. Rocket Richard to Crosby. So a big year for Sidney Crosby, but his old team won the Stanley Cup. You hate to see it. You absolutely hate to see it. Beautiful. What do we give up for Crosby? 2 first-round picks. 2 first-round picks. Chris Mason's gone. John Graham. Center, Brendan Morrison. Got Mike Greer, Milan Hajduk. On the left, Corey Stillman, Ryan Smith. Matt Cook, good riddance. Defenseman, Jay McKee, Dan Boyle. Dan Boyle gone from the Sharks. Sheldon Surrey retires as a healthy scratch. You hate to see it. Sorry you ended your career that way, Sheldon. All right. It did give us a couple of names to keep an eye on. We will mark down those names. Just to see again if they're worth it. Then again, I feel like we drafted somebody last year off of the recommendations. But then again, we improved our scout since then. Orlando Colleton is a good name. The trade block, is it still fully open? Yes, it is, with Tyler Buns on the block. Let's go to the draft. Let's do it. So yeah, we don't have a first-round pick this year. Oh, yeah, about that. Rob Scuderi for Victor Stahlberg. Okay. And we don't get a single trade offer. Damn. The value of Hall and Crosby, though, by the way. McNeil's value dropped a little bit. Trade values change really fast. I feel like we could trade back into the first round. Again, Magnus Pajärvi was terrible last season. If we can find a team, even the Boston Bruins would be a pretty good fit. If we could trade Magnus Pajärvi to Boston, which apparently a first and a third wasn't enough. So there goes that. We do have 3 second-round picks, though. Still no trade offers, though. Well, not worth trading anybody right now, then, given that we won't be able to get a first-round pick. So second round. It's going to be all generated dudes. Unfortunately. How far down do we go for second to third round? Honestly, we need to look at third rounds as well, because third to fourth will be our next pick. Is there anybody who really stands out? Anybody at all? And if not, we can go towards the suggested players. But I was looking for greens to try and see if there was someone at like a 7 or higher for a confirmed potential. And it's just not there. It's a bit of a tough call. Craig wasn't on the suggested list, no. Don't know what's worse. Jordan loves throwing or the fact that I might lose the Raiders. I mean, hey. Who are you to doubt the Vegas Raiders? Yeah, we are in best guess territory here. When in doubt, take a Finn. Hanu Imanen. When in doubt, take the Finn. We will also take the Brit, Billy Musselwhite. From there, either Rodney Marchment, Serge Appel. We'll take Serge Appel. Why not? See if any of these guys end up being half decent. We still haven't gotten a trade offer. Third round, Ulf Naslund. Toby Draper. We know Nasland's defensive potential isn't that great, though. Nor is it for Toby Draper. Olli Alonen. Do you have anybody else? Vili Pirietta could be decent, but it's unlikely. Tuukka Martins. What else do we got? There's got to be somebody that really stands out. Looks like we're out of high league interest. Never mind, there's still a couple. There's still a couple, but they're not that good. I'll be looking at the sums then. Show me the sums. Taxki soon. I'm going to finish up this draft at the very least. I'm going to be a little bit late. That's because I did a funny thing. Oh, man. Honestly, Tuukka Martins. Take a big Finnish defenseman. Why not? We're going to turn Edmonton. I mean, hey, look, it's cold. It's nice in the summer, but it's mostly cold. The Finns will be right at home. All right. They will be right at home. Ned Pecker. He would be out of Kamloops, wouldn't he? Fucking Ned Pecker. South Korean Vic Jackman. Ned Pecker or Jackman? It's got to be Ned Pecker. The cock of the walk. Ned Pecker. There have been no trades since we looked either. We got 2 picks this round. 2 picks this round. Charles Bilesma. Could honestly be decent. Dale Menard. How many people still have some league interest? Just these 2. Let's go for Dale Menard. Wish you could go to HUD on this game and open a pack. Don't make me. We'll also take Charles Bilesma. Round number 6. Can't believe I'm still stuck with one phone. What a nightmare. Curtis Green out of Croatia. Okay. Bill Taramina. Honestly, these 2, Martinson and Jack Hainsey, might not be that bad. We're going to go for Jack Hainsey, the American. All right, round number 7. Oh, for this game, yeah, the servers have been shut down a long time ago. Bobby Sanguinetti, Cody Eakin. Actually, this might have been one of the ones that had shut off somewhat recently. Let's see. Nobody. Well, okay, hold on. We got a couple of potential 7.0s. Eugene Adamski. Let's go for Eugene. We'll hope for the best. We'll hope for the best. The draft can only be so dramatic with this old system, right? So, can only be so dramatic. All right. I do want to go through the re-sign phase as well and just kind of see what we got. So I'm waiting to hear from people as to if we're playing Ishel somewhat soon. So we will see. All right. Let's look at our goalies first. We got Dubnyk, Kemper, who was awesome. Yaroslav Janis. Given that Dubnyk was kind of mid this year, we're going to qualify Kemper. We're going to qualify Janis. Simon Giroux, I would like to sign. I think I have to. Does it show me when he was drafted? 2012. It's supposed to be 3 years, but it might end up being 2. Let me double check something with Magnus Pajärvi. He was 2009. I didn't sign. Okay, so it is still 3 years. Because he was in 2009. And then it would have been the 2011? No, but then, yeah. I'm gonna go with 2 years to play it safe. So I don't want to lose. It should be 3, but I'm going to play it safe. We are in 2014. So let's sign... 62 at 21 years old, Simon Giroux. You know what? If he goes, let him. At this stage. He's not going to be anything too crazy. Defenseman. Oh, God. All right. Theo's a UFA. Theo. You weren't one of the defensemen that got scratched in the playoffs. No, he was one of our better defensemen. Alex Plant was also pretty good. So was Taylor Chorney. Tyson Barrie, definitely. I'll see if I can hold on to John Scott. Let's qualify Dalton Prout. David Rundblad. I hate to say it, but like Rundblad and Vatanen, it's not looking too good. I think I'd rather free up those roster spots. Like, they could end up being decent. Taps, I saw the video today, too. They could end up being decent with that potential. At least Jonas Brodin's only 2 points worse and 3 years younger, so we'll keep Brodin. Tuukka Martins, who we just drafted, ended up only being a C. Laurent Brodeur was from last year's draft, 5th overall. He's looking okay. Duncan Simon's not looking so hot. Frankie Corrado. Dylan DeMello. Yeah, some of these potentials aren't too hot. Taps, 100%. On the right, Zach Cassian, we got to keep. Henry Webb.
I'm just trying to walk through this fucking.
The man from China. Shout out to the weed man. The weed man from China, Henry Webb. He was a 2013 pick. I could go one more year without signing him. So shout out to Dylan Thunderliger, by the way, still an amazing name. Guy Giroux. 2013 draft. Serge Appel was from this year's draft. Not bad. And then there's Mark Stone, who is under contract. There's also Dale Menard, who was this year's draft. On the left, Taylor Hall, qualifying offer. Matt Molson was trash. He's gone. Matt Molson was so bad in the playoffs. And shout out to Dylan for the 2 months. Appreciate you. Molson was terrible in the playoffs. Absolutely terrible. He was good in the regular season, but he shit the bed in the playoffs. He's gone. We can find somebody else. Again, he was the one that missed that empty netter. Is this NHL 11? Of course it's NHL 11. We will qualify Pajärvi. I don't want to lose him for free. I'll double check the unsigned players. Andre Palat's probably going to be dropped. Let's be honest. 23 years old, only a 61. He just hasn't improved. So we'll let go of Andre Palat. We tried. At center, Gilbert Brule, Andrew Cogliano. Both have their deals coming due. Got to qualify Calle Yarncroke. Musselwhite ended up being pretty decent. And there's Vinny Trocheck. Okay, 27 million in cap space. We need to try to sign Taylor Hall. He wants an 8-year deal. I'm going to try to go 8 years, 6 million and see what he says, and hopefully not see him get pissed at me, because that would be a steal and a half. So let's wait a day, see what Taylor Hall says. Take it from there. What do you say, Taylor? Perfect. 8 years, 6 million. Taylor Hall is back. You'll love to see it. So we got Kemper, we got Janus. I'm willing to let both of them go. I mean, Kemper was good, though. Kemper was good. I'm willing to sign him. I am willing to sign him. Yaroslav Janus, I'm willing to let kind of toil away for the moment. Like I said, I'm not too worried about Giroux or Rene Severette. Theo. How much money does Theo want? It's really not that bad. Even if we got 2.1 for 4 years, he was pretty good. We'll see if he takes that. Taylor Chorney. I don't want you to be my number one defenseman anymore, but you were still solid. Weedman, I'm playing it on a 360. John Scott. Gotta be honest, guys. I love me some... Oh, he's so cheap. All right, never mind. He's staying. He's looking for a dirt cheap contract. You know he has to stay. We are going to drop David Rundblad and Sammy Vatanen for now, at least. Early Stanley Cup prediction, A squared. Listen to the podcast. I talk about it all the time. That's why I talk about the podcast. That's where we talk about that stuff all the time. There isn't a new one out today, but I mean the preview ones. You can kind of tell from the division previews who we think. Stanley Cup prediction for 2025. The Buffalo Sabres. Let's be honest. Why do you sound like the Batman? Why do you sound like the Batman? Cogliano was taken out of the lineup heading into the playoffs. We are going to let go of Andrew Cogliano. We will try to keep Creme Brulee if we can. And then potentially trade him away. We'll see how that plays out. Yeah, love me some Cogliano, but he wasn't very good. Everybody signed as well. That's on the Rasmus Dahlin deal. I mean, they had to pay him a lot to get him to stay. But the important thing is that he stayed, and he signed for the 8 years. So you can afford to overpay when your top two centers are making just over 14 million combined, you know? Like when you got Tage and Cousins locked up from those good deals, yeah, you can afford to overspend to keep one of your pieces. Let's see, we got Plante, we got Barry. So I'm not too worried about Giroux. Duca Martins, Laurent Brodeur, Duncan Simons, I'm not too worried about signing. Frankie Corrado. Ideally would have to be signed this year, but he's not that great. Adamski's not that good, nor is Dylan DeMello. On the right was Cassian. Guy Giroux didn't have to be signed this year. None of these guys did. Webb could be. But I'm going to leave him unsigned for the moment just to see kind of our contract situation. Bilesman was taken this year. Barclay Goodrow's not looking that good. Eamon, Pecker, Dano, and Lowry aren't that great. And then at center, Musselwhite and then Trocheck's not that good. I think we're okay. It's just the RFAs that I need to, in theory, worry about. I would like to... I'm going to let these guys go to free agency. Just in case someone like... I mean, Sagan's probably an RFA. But I do want to be able to take a look. We got Sid via trade. So what happened was we sent an offer sheet for him that Pittsburgh matched. But we gave him a $10 million contract, which was a shitload in this era. So that kind of dropped his trade value a little bit, I feel like, and they were all right with moving his contract for 2 first-round picks. 2 Edmonton first-round picks, though. Keep that in mind. So RFA forwards, yeah, Sagan's going to be too expensive. David Perron, Michael Frolik, Ryan Stoa. There's not really going to be anybody that we can get here. You could argue like Earl Toms or somebody like that, but Yarn Krok is ours. There are a couple of these guys that might actually not be that bad. Then defensively, it's Nick Petrecki, Alex Pietrangelo, Plot and Barry, who of course are on our team. And then in goal, it's Bernier and Semyon Varlamov. All right, let's look at the UFAs first, since we know it won't cost us anything. Jimmy Howard's available. I don't feel confident putting a lot of money towards a goaltender, though. Nicholas Lundstrom's not that bad. Nor is Philippe Tremblay. Rosie. Baseball fan, what's up, man? Man, there's a lot of B minuses, holy hell. A lot of them. So yeah, I dropped Simon Giroux after 2 seasons of not signing him. Good to know that it is 2 seasons. If we were to go for a goalie, Nick Lundstrom is the guy to go for. I will send him an offer because we know we're probably going to trade a goalie anyway. I don't think we need Jimmy Howard. On defense, Cody Franzen. Shea Weber, boy, I'll tell you, Shea. Let's see. B minus potentials. Yeah, drop Frankie Corrado too. Jan Sauve. Not too bad. Alex Basso. All right, so there's nobody that's insanely good. Bryce Segal or Siegel. Alex Basso. Those are probably the top dudes in terms of prospects. Defensively, let's sign the Basso because he's real and he has a face. So why not? We're probably going to have to try to make the big splash for Franzen or Weber. In terms of right wings, Brian Gianna, Michael Ryder. Love me some Michael Ryder, but are there any good prospects? Yuraj Majdan. Is pretty much the best. And really, he's not that good. It's okay. On the left, Danny Heatley. Jesus. All right. Danny Heatley, Simone Gagne. In terms of prospects, Vince Trevelyan, Texky, all good. I'll be in touch. I haven't really heard from anybody, so I thought we'd have the numbers tonight, but you know. All right. And then it's center. He's 35 years old, but Pavel Datsuk's out there. In terms of prospects, Scott Mason's not too bad. Okay. I feel like there's a decent amount of work we probably have to do with this team. And it starts at trading away certain players just to make sure we have cap space. The top of those being Devin Dubnyk. He's got to go. And honestly, trading the rights to old Janus isn't a bad idea. Nor is getting rid of Tyler Bunz. If I can get rid of those 3 goalies, I'll be doing pretty good for myself. Pretty good indeed. The Ducks want to give up a first-round pick? No, they do not. The Atlanta Thrashers. I doubt I'm going to be able to trade all of these guys to the same team. Yeah, that's... Unless there is magically a team. Oh, Calgary. They don't want a middle-aged player like Devin Dubnyk. All right, we got to see if there's a team where this will work. It's unlikely. But we got to try to brute force it And it's really not looking that good. Damn it. It's not looking that good. Folius, what's going on? How are you? This is not good. You cannot move the Thrashers to Winnipeg because at the time they did not know the team was going to be moving. Abraham as well. What's going on? I'm doing well. All right. Well, you take old Buns out of the equation. You'd still have too many goalies? How many fucking goalies? Man, we went from NHL 24 where no AI teams have goalies. And now every team would have too many goalies. What the hell? Well, I gotta find a way to get rid of Dubnyk. Even if it is like a low ball second round pick. I tried to trade him for a 5th accidentally. All right, Boston took Dubnyk for a 2nd rounder. That's good. That frees up some cap space. We are going to try to let go of old Janus here if we can. Defensively, Beckham, Chorney, Plant. Hemsky's making $5 million. Got to be honest, he's not worth it. He hasn't been worth that compared to what Taylor Hall was able to do next to Sidney Crosby. Then you could argue Gagne and Brule. I'd rather try to get an upgrade on Hemsky. He was pretty mid in the playoffs. So if we could go 1st round pick to Buffalo, Hemsky, done deal. And we free up more cap. And now we have a 1st round pick this year. So that's good. That worked out relatively well. Relatively well. Okay. Now that we have that little bit of extra cap space. Now that we have that extra bit of cap space. 34 players under contract. We go UFA. I mean, Datsuk's obviously interesting, but like Heater is very, 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 very interesting. I mean, it's Danny frickin' Heatley. Hall, Heatley, Crosby could break the league. 2 years, $6 million. And then defensively, gotta try to land Shea Weber boy. 6x6 for Weber. And then if I could also land Cody Franzen, we'll go 4 years at 6.5. Let's see if we can get stupid with the free agents here. We got some good potential. Basso accepts. It's not the biggest name we're waiting to hear from. Nick Lundstrom went with a different team. That's a bit of a shame. We didn't absolutely need him, though, as a goalie prospect. GM rep's gone up. Cody Franzen. Shea Weber boy. And Heatley. What an offseason. Oh my God. We landed Danny Heatley, Cody Franzen, and Shea Weber. Holy God. And we still have $6 million in cap space. That is friggin' ridiculous. Oh my God. The question now is, do we have enough money to bring in our RFAs? I don't concern myself at all with the Janus. We got Plant and Barry, Cassian, Payarvi. I'm going to try to wait people out. I am going to try to wait people out. I don't really feel the need to try to go after any... Hold on. Hold on. Compensation 1.14 is the magic number for the RFAs. So in terms of prospects, Yarncroke is already ours. 1.14. There's quite a few of these guys who aren't that bad. LFC, what's going on, man? I don't want to take up too much space. So we're going to move ahead. It's not like we're in desperate need for prospects. We still have quite a few guys at this stage. So give me a second. Jan Croak signed. Jonas Bardeen signed, which is good. Zach Cassian signed. We'll take that. Tank your contract, or tank your Stas Van in at offer sheets, right? Dalton Proud signed. Am I going to trade Payarvi? Probably. But I don't have to do it immediately. All right. Who got Datsuk? I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out. Why would I be worried about where 35-year-old Pavel Datsuk went? Did you not just see that we took the Nashville Predators' top defense pair and signed Danny Heatley? Did you not see this? Jesus. We're going to win a cup. We are going to win the Stanley Cup. Saw TikTok and wanted to ask you, would I rather play Tony Hawk game to God of War's soundtrack or God of War to the Tony Hawk soundtrack? This is less than Jake. No, this is Goldfinger. Tyson Barrie gets a pretty big offer. I think I'd rather play Tony Hawk to the God of War music. God of War has some fucking dope songs. I'm gonna match that for Barry. That's a good amount of our remaining cap. It was about half of it. So we're gonna have a little bit of a rough time keeping this team together. But we'll see what we can do. 5th year as the GM of the Oilers. Let's double check these contracts. Oh God, Dinas Zubris is still here. Okay, we have a lot to do in terms of sorting out this team, who stays, who goes, kind of thing. Kemper and Owsley are going to be our goalies this year. Yeah, we have a lot to do here. Damn. A lot to do. We got to get rid of Janus. Defense is now Franzen, Weber, Peckham, McNeil, Chorney, and Barry. Unless we want to move Plant. So we have to move... I don't want to move Chorney or Plant because they were the best ones from last year. They were our 2 best defensemen. I'd love to keep them for the 3rd pair. That leaves Barry, McNeil, or Peckham. Peckham was the best of the bunch, but he's also the oldest. So honestly, I think Theo might be on the way out. I think he might be. Honestly, though, Brandon Gormley's ready to go. He's ready to be in the NHL as well. We gotta totally sort around this defense. We have to totally move some things around. If we get rid of Chorney, Plant, and Peckham. Nico! I had to burn one of the jerseys on the wall behind me. Probably the Semin jersey. Who's the guy from this period that I thought was going to be elite? Zach Hommel. There's a lot of them. So if we get rid of those 3, it's Franzen, Weber, McNeil, Barry, Gormley, and Scott, which isn't bad. Or even Gormley and Prout. And then have John Scott as a depth option. Hate to say it, but that Plant Peckham pairing might be over. Cassian's not quite ready. If we look at the forwards, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Down to 74s. Payarvi has to go. If we cash out on some of that defensive surplus to boost up the offense just a little bit more, we'll be in a pretty damn good spot. Pretty damn good spot indeed. Goodness. Not really interested in defense or goaltending at this stage. Surplus is defense. The age doesn't matter. Not really interested in moving anybody there. All right. That works. Yeah, there's a lot to do. But given the free agent class we just had, Franzen, Weber, Heatley, we're in a pretty good spot. We got a first-round pick from Buffalo that we didn't have before. And a big shout-out to Mills. A big shout-out to Mills for the big raid. Mills, how the heck are you? How'd the stream go? How was the Eishel, I believe I saw. Welcome to NHL 11 franchise. Such is the state. The absolute state. Actual humanity and drop-ins. You're right, I don't believe it. You're right, I don't believe it. You, sir, are a liar. As we trade Yaroslav Janis to the Bruins for a third-round pick. Because he had to go. And then defensively, Chorny, Peckham, and Plant. If we get rid of all three, now the biggest NHL in terms of views. Sorry, texting with Sim. We're probably going to play some Eishel ourselves. I need one more big defender. And if I compare the three of these guys together to get one more elite defenseman, it would be so worth it. Even if it's the reigning Norris winner and Cam Fowler. If they took a 3-for-1, I'd do it. They wouldn't. We're going to have a tough time finding the right player. But we'll see if we can find him. And I'm sure Mills explained it, but for anybody coming over from the raid, again, NHL 24 franchise is in a terrible state. So out of protest, I'm not playing it. And we're playing a game that came out in 2010. Because why not? All right. Can I find that one extra defenseman? That Silas guy. How good is he now? We tried to trade for this guy a couple of years ago. That's why I've been playing drop-ins. That's fair. Not interested in more than one. Ah, come on. There's got to be. Is that David Musel? It is. He's not amazing right now, though. There's got to be that one defenseman that I can work out a blockbuster deal for. Alex Adler wouldn't be bad. He's not quite blockbuster, though. Dmitry Kulikov. Jeez. Am I enjoying EA Manager? I am. FC Manager mode's really, really fun. It's not drastically different, I would say, from what it's been in the last couple of years, but I do think it is a really, really good franchise mode. All right. I would prefer the 3-to-1. They don't want to take multiple one-way deals. They can't do it for Larson. Yeah, I haven't had enough time to play it, but I do really, really enjoy it. All right. I don't think a deal is going to work out the way that I would prefer it to work out. But would add to our defensive surplus instead of reduce. That's fair. Honestly, the AI are really, really smart in this game about who they'll trade for and who they won't. Outright, whatever they're set to, if they're just like, look, man, we don't need forwards. You got to pay up big time. I really, really like it. Like, they're smart enough to know I was trying to trade them 3 defensemen at the same time. And they're just like, man, we're trying to get rid of defense. What are you doing? Can I get Chris Letang? No. Eric Johnson? Yeah, I'm not going to quite be able to do this deal the way I would prefer. I'm going to have to trade these guys away in pieces, which means less of a return. You're going to piss off every GM. I don't care. All right, we got to trade these guys away for bit parts and then probably use the draft picks. that will accumulate from them. Who wants defense? Although, really, it's who wants athleticism. That's what Chorney has in spades. I really don't want to get rid of him, but it's just the kind of spot that we're in. What about a second and a fourth? I don't want middle-aged players. There's a better way to look. Give me the more in-depth option. Computer teams. We need athleticism. Defenders. Atlanta actually works out really well. Atlanta should work out really well. If I ask for a second and a third, we go back to Chorney. We might have to take our time. Atlanta doesn't want defenders, but they do want athletic players, which is what Taylor Chorney is. So, honestly, we're just going to go hat in hand to every team and see what we can do. See what we can do. Not that I want to trade this guy, but like I said, we have a log jam of talents. Something's got to give. And right now, nobody's really all that interested in making anything happen. J squared. I give it a 2 years. 24. Beautiful months, J squared. Appreciate you. How are you? It appears as though every team in the league has a full 50. Florida's not interested in the one-way contract. Damn. I'll go the Oilers. We had a very, very big offseason. Very, very big. Now we're trying to get rid of some of the extras, but it's not going too well. Nobody wants Taylor Chorney, even though he's an incredibly solid player.
Here comes a pizza.
Damn, man. Damn. Shout out to Cameron, by the way. 27 months. I'm gonna go grab the Halsey jersey. You should. You should. We're going to have to take back a defenseman in the deal, but that's what I want to avoid because of the roster spots. So this is just not going too well for me here. Damn. Okay. This is going to be a little bit more time consuming than I assumed, which is a bit of a shame. Emperor, what's up? Again, I do like that you have to put a little bit more thought into what you want to do. So if I ask for Cam Fowler and this dude, we still have too many players on the roster. And Brookbank, I'd be over the cap at that point. Still not playing 24 franchise. Correct. Tis dumpster fire. Tis dumpster fire. All right, let's get the... Shout out to Nick Delorier. Who's the worst player on the roster? Nick Delorier and Ben Sherratt. And this is not looking too promising here. Having to pay attention to some of the cap hits now at this stage. Don't know if that perfect trade for us exists. I was hoping that it did. But as we keep looking, it's not looking great. Oak, I have a video out about it on the YouTube side of things. It's honestly too much to cover to like only mention like, oh, that's the like the general. Yeah, I guess the general theme is that AI management's absolutely terrible. That's probably the right way to phrase it. It's just very, very ungood. Much like my ability to find any trades. I might have to do this off stream and like just take a bunch of time while I'm waiting for videos to render and stuff like that, because I am finding absolutely nothing that'll work for us here. A lot of teams not wanting to take more than one-way deal. It's really limiting my ability to find a trade. Would I ever do a Hut series? Probably not again, no. It's been a couple of years since I've done one. Don't really have interest in going back. Too much frustration tied to the 1v1 game. You did a couple years ago. I have a couple of Hut series up on the main YouTube channel from a few years ago, but for the most part, they end in oh, I'm annoyed because the gameplay is not fun. So yeah, I cannot find like the one trade that I need. You ever play sports manager games? I do indeed. Not as much as I want to, but yeah. So we have way too much to try to figure out here, and honestly, it's going to be very time consuming to figure it out, but we'll get there. That's the only thing I can say. We'll get there. But we have to make some moves to get spots open for some of our younger guys.